Hey Em, how's it going, girl? It is the 27th of August, 2018, and it's approximately 4:55 p.m. I'm about to go to my class at Allen Hancock College, and I'm stopping here at Lowe's to get some safety equipment. I just got some safety glasses, and I also got some other things. I got some earplugs because I'm going to be working around machinery. Yeah, I'm taking a survey of machining class, and I'm going to be using a lot of different kinds of machines. Typically, they're loud. These are ones that, they sort of take away metal from a piece part, and that process generates a lot of heat and a lot of sound. And anyway, if there are any flecks of dust or any particulate matter that flies up, I want to make sure that my eyes are protected and that my ears are protected too. So anyway, that's what that's all about. So it's Monday, and I had a really good workout today. I was on the treadmill for a good 30 minutes at 7.8 miles per hour, and also on the bike for an hour, bicycled 13 miles. I'll be doing that twice a week, so I'll probably be doing 26 miles a week, and I run about 4.5 miles, so, what is that? About 4.5 miles, what is that? I don't know. It's like 9 miles a week or something, 8 or 9 miles a week. It changes. And then I'm also doing squats, machine squats and regular squats and weightlifting, all kinds of stuff. So I'm doing good physically. Speaking of physically, physicality, I was noticing something about my experience in the gym. And that is, when I'm focused on movement and being precise with my movements, almost a lot of my attention goes just to that process, because coordinating movement is a thing that takes a lot of mental power, and doing it precisely takes a lot of mental power. I happen to remember when you texted me a while ago. I think maybe, it was a letter. It was a photograph that you texted me about. That was some data about you. How sometimes some people might think that you're clumsy, right? And, I wanted to let you know that I experienced the same thing. When I was growing up, a lot of people thought that I was clumsy. In fact, my mom had a nickname for me. She called me the absent-minded professor. And that was what that label was all about, was describing how I would I'd kind of fall over things and drop things and hit things and bump things, and I just was absent-minded in the sense that I didn't know what was going on around me. And the reason was, I think, was that I was prioritizing my thoughts, and my thoughts over everything else. I was prioritizing that mental chatter, that internal voice, over the things that I was planning to do with my body in terms of, my movement, and making sure that my movements weren't hitting up against anything else. So in a way, early on, this whole absent-minded professor, clumsy stuff was a decision I made as a very young boy, where I would override my thoughts. I would override, say, mental energy related to planning my physical behavior by thinking, my conceptual thinking process. That's where I devoted a lot of my energy. It was all about thinking about concepts and less about moving around. I deprioritized that, and I was called clumsy as a result. And now I'm actually, and I know I'm already 47. You'd think that I would have a handle on this, but I still am a little bit clumsy. And I am finding that I become less clumsy when I prioritize planning my physical movements at or even above my thought processes, where I'm thinking about story and narrative in my mind. And so I'm noticing this interesting relationship between what I prioritize, moving around in my physical body, or the thoughts and conceptual thinking. And it's an interesting connection there, and it's funny that I'm just getting to know about it. And maybe this can be an advantage for you. I have this idea that if you really were to take this idea seriously, you could have choice about when you wanted to focus on your movement of your physical body and when you wanted to focus on your conceptual thought processes. And for pretty much most of my life, I've always been focused on conceptual thought processes. And I've been, not very mechanically inclined physically. And, I think it's important for a human being to have a balance. And now I'm realizing where that balance lies. It's about priority. I never thought of myself as a multitasker. I couldn't ever really have a conversation and drive accurately my car at the same time. It was one or the other. I could have a stimulating conversation, or I could drive really well, but I couldn't do both at the same time. Now, some people are very gifted. They're able to do both at the same time, and more power to them. There are people who are able to multitask and do it well. In fact, I've even spoken with someone who thinks that she is a better driver when she's talking to someone, or even talking on the phone, which is phenomenal, a phenomenal gift. And that's a gift that I do not have. For me, I'm definitely, I do a single task at a time, and I do that single task well, and everything falls by the side. So maybe that will be valuable to you. There's something else that's been on my mind, and it's about sort of getting together eventually. I think that I'm still very interested in getting together with you and doing something like going to eat pizza, or going to a movie, or going to get ice cream or frozen yogurt, or whatever it is that works for you, whatever it is that fits for you. And I think that there's a gap in your knowledge about when I'm available during the day and during the week. So I've got this idea that I'd like to coordinate our calendars somehow. I don't know what kind of calendar you have to manage your time in school and the homework that you do, but maybe if you use, say, your iPhone calendar a lot to manage your time, and I use my Android calendar, maybe there's a way for us to integrate our calendars so that we know when each other is available to do something. I'm thinking that would be an amazing thing. And I don't know, one thing I use to manage my time is Google Calendar. And I wonder if you use the same app or the same software solution. If you don't, and maybe you use some kind of paper method of organizing your day, maybe what I could do is just in my letters on Monday morning, send you a schedule about what I'm doing midweek and late week and on the weekend. I might already have plans for stuff, and maybe we can sneak in some time, 15 minutes, 30 minutes here and there, where we can get together and do stuff. And anyway, I wonder what you think about this idea, and I wonder if you have any adjustments to it to make it more amenable to you. I'm curious if you even think it's a good idea at all. So yeah, I appreciate that feedback. So I'm really open to that feedback, and I invite you to provide that feedback. It's something that I welcome. If the idea is a little off balance or not sufficiently calibrated, let me know so I can make an adjustment. I'm more than willing to make an adjustment to satisfy both our needs. So let's see, what else is going on with me? Um, hmm, boy. Um, hmm. You know, one thing I'm curious about you is that I wonder to what extent you're into personal growth and personal development. I remember you telling me something about a calendar that your mom is using that you're using too. I think it's a teacher's planner. And I'm curious about how you use that teacher's planner and whether you're focused on making your performance more efficient when it comes to planning. You know, if there is, if you are interested in stuff like that, that is really a strong overlap in our interests, because I am actually quite interested in figuring out ways to better plan my day and schedule it out. In fact, I've been doing something recently upon a suggestion from a friend of mine. Her name is Savannah Cooley, by the way, but she mentioned something about how I might do a better job of planning for the future if every day I determine what my goals are, like what I want to accomplish for that day or that week. And then once I have that list of goals, break those goals down into specific actionable steps that I schedule into my week. And I mean, just that hint, just that little bit of strategy right there, I think has the potential to really take me to the next level. You know, so what I'm doing is, as soon as I can remember to do it, if I come up with a goal, I try to write it down on my smartphone as soon as possible as a reminder. And I'm basically asking my smartphone to remind me that I've got this goal. Later on, I'll process that reminder and I'll create specific tasks that I will put into my daily calendar, complete with alarms. I call it time blocking or calendar blocking. And basically all it refers to is blocking out some time to do a task on my calendar. And so far it's been working pretty well. I've been getting a lot of positive feedback from myself as I complete goals that I just dreamed up hours before or days before. And what's interesting about this technique is that it focuses just on the week time slot. I'm not focusing on goals 5 years from now or life goals over a lifetime or goals over just even 1 year or even 90 days. I'm focusing on a 7-day week. And that's where I'm bracketing this whole effort. And I'm actually getting pretty excited about it. I'm making some progress. It's all electronic. None of it is on paper. And I think that helps because my cellular phone is always in my pocket. And anytime I get some downtime, I'm able to take out my cell phone and start coming up with tasks and assigning them dates and times over the following week. And so that's a pretty good idea. So far it's been working pretty well. So I'm pleased to report that change in strategy, which seems to be working. So I'm pleased because I know recently I've been focusing on planning and how important planning is. Particularly, I realize how important planning is when I experience a loss where, I might have gone shopping and then I just forgot to pick up a certain product that I wanted to buy, or, I forget that I want to do something in this place or location, and then I experience regret, right? Like, oh man, if I had just thought about that just prior to going. Say, like if I go grocery shopping, and I forget to pick up something in my grocery list because maybe I didn't check my grocery list. It's that kind of regret that has been stimulating me to change my strategy. So anyway, So I got a new stereo, a Kenwood stereo. Right now, I'm listening to this program. Awaken to your strongest self. Break free of stress, inner conflict, and self-sabotage by Neil Fiore, author of The Now Habit. I think I actually read The Now Habit. I think this was, it was all right. And you know what? This Awaken Your Strongest Self material is also just okay. I don't necessarily recommend it to you unless you have nothing else to read or listen to. I'm curious if you listen to audiobooks. I try to keep an audiobook around on my cellular telephone or in my car as much as I can. And I try not to spend very much money on audiobooks, though sometimes I do. I've been, if I do spend money, I'll probably buy, say, audible.com programs through Amazon.com. Otherwise, I try to check them out from the library, download them from Hoopla, the Hoopla app, or use Black Gold's function. What's it called? There's another app for the Black Gold library system that allows you to download audiobooks. It's like broadband or something, Audio Street. I forget what it's called. But there's a lot of downtime when I drive from point A to point B. I'm staring at the road, and I can listen to an audiobook and have that not disturb my driving that much. Yeah. So, let's see, what else is going on with me? My watch. My watch is kind of broke. I am going to take it to a jeweler's outlet, Bumate Jewelers, and hopefully they'll be able to fix my watch. My watch has lost a gasket. Somehow this back panel came off of my watch, and when it did, this black O-ring fell right out and onto the floor. And I picked it up, and it was torn. It was broke. And it's that O-ring which makes my watch waterproof. So without that O-ring, my watch has been getting all foggy inside the case. And also another thing that's been happening, this back part has been popping off, and when it does, I lose a few functions on my watch. For example, my watch stops. That's a problem. And not only that, but the green night glow light also stops functioning. So anyway, it's limping along right now on my wrist. So I think tomorrow I'm going to get it fixed. I hope you're doing okay in your world. And, I just want to mention that I love you just the way you are, and that I believe in you. I believe that you have the ability to overcome the obstacles that are in your way. And, I'm really interested in supporting you in any way that I can, whether it's monetarily or through logistics by supplying my minivan for you to help get you around. Or if there's any other technique or strategy I can use to help make your life a little more enjoyable, a little more easy. I want you to live a life of some ease, especially if it's possible. If it's not, that's fine. Life has its own difficulties related to it, and efforts related to it, and that's fine. We all need to go through that. Of sort of persevering through using energy in that way just to overcome life's problems. But if there's anything specific that I can help you with, say math, for example, math homework, I would be more than happy to give you some ideas, to throw out some ideas to you, to give you ideas about how you can creatively solve a problem. I'm pretty good at math, and I'm able to help definitely with high school math. In fact, I was a math tutor for a little while when I was in high school. I tutored some trigonometry. So anyway, those are just some ideas, and take them or leave them, and that's fine. It's perfectly okay if you leave them and not do anything. But anyway, I'll talk to you later, girl. I love you.